Hello everyone, welcome back to 51 GT3 Racing Academy. In the world of motorsports, everyone has probably heard of Formula One, the top racing event. But there is another racing category involving just as much competition, more eligible car models, and more approachable qualification requirements, which is GT racing. There usually are different classes of GT cars competing in one GT race. What kind of cars are included in these classes? What are the differences between these classes? In today's episode, let's talk about GT racing and its classes. Before we get into details, let me explain what GT means in GT racing. Back in the times of wagons and carriages, kings and nobles would choose large carriages with 4 doors to carry more luggage when traveling long distances. Such carriages usually required multiple horses to pull them, hence this kind of carriage with high horsepower and large storage was referred to as the Latin term Gran Turismo in the early days. As the automobile industry develops, the meaning of the term Gran Turismo, Grand Touring, in English, has evolved into high horsepower station wagon. When it comes to racing, GT refers to coupe supercars with high horsepower output and enclosed cabins. They are often designed to have novel shapes and higher horsepower. Ever since the restoration of the GT category at the end of the 20th century, the current GT racing has been classified into the following: GT3, GT4, GT2, and GTC, over the past 3 decades. Regulating parties of these classes include ACO, FIA, and SRO. Now let's take a closer look at these GT categories that are currently active over the world. First, there is the GT3 Class, which was introduced by SRO and FIA in 2005 and is currently one of the most popular GT classes globally. The FIA is currently responsible for setting the technical regulations for this class. The Porsche 911 GT3R, for example, has 550 horsepower and can be modified with additional aerodynamic parts, compared to the mass-produced road-going model GT3 RS. At the moment, GT3 cars are eligible cars to drive in the following series: GTD category of IMSA, SRO GT3 Series, GT3 category of China GT Championship Series, and GT300 category of Japan Super GT. Besides Porsche 911 GT3, some other signature GT3 models include BMW M6 GT3 and Ferrari 488 GT3. Next, there is the GT4 Class, which is more similar to the mass-produced models. Cars in this class are relatively less difficult to drive. The SRO is currently responsible for the regulations in this category. Compared to the GT3 class, SRO has made strict restrictions on the modification of GT4 cars. In addition to the minimum production size requirement of 300 units per year, modifications on fundamental parts like the engine and chassis are strictly forbidden. The only parts that are allowed to be replaced are brake pads, springs, roll cages, and fuel tanks. Aerodynamical modifications on GT4 cars are strictly limited as well. Aerodynamic parts made for mass-produced road-going models, like the rear tail, are the only ones allowed. GT4 cars are eligible to enter the following current series: SRO GT4 Series and the GT4 category of China GT Championship Series. Signature GT4 class models include Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport, BMW M4 GT4, Audi R8 LMS GT4, etc. Then, there is the new GT2 class resumed in 2019, as distinct from the old GT2 class. This class currently has only a few eligible models and the only driver classes that qualify are Pro Am and M. Currently, SRO does not provide any regulation documents on the GT2 website, only slides for promotional purposes. From these SRO campaign slides, we could only find Audi, Brabham, KTM, Lamborghini, and Porsche, the 5 brands that manufacture GT2 class cars. Finally, there is the GTC Class, the most mysterious class in GT racing. In the current GT racing categories, the GTC Class does not have a hierarchical relationship with the mainstream GT3 and GT4 classes. It is more of an exclusive class for certain car manufacturers to hold racing events for their designated car models, such as the Porsche Carrera Cup and the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. It's classified as GTC in China. When these models are used in other racing classes, they are reassigned into new categories. GTC Class is represented by these models: Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, and the Ferrari 488 Challenge. Since the new GT2 class is still going through its testing phase, We will focus on GT3, GT4, and GTC to talk about their differences in exterior appearance. Let's take a look at the exterior differences between GT3 and GT4 cars. GT3 cars are wider and have more dramatic front and rear aerodynamic part designs, which adds more downforce to the car, while the body is heavily made of carbon fiber. GT4 cars, on the other hand, adopt a lot of road-going car part designs to reduce the cost of use. Another way to distinguish these two is by the wheels. All of the GT3 models have a center locking structure in the wheels, while GT4 models don't. GTC models are not as distinguishable from GT3 compared to GT4. The two are very similar. The main difference is that GTC models are not made of as much carbon fiber. This helps reduce manufacturing costs. The aerodynamic designs of GTC models are not as extreme as GT3 ones either. But cup racing cars like the Ferrari 488 Challenge are actually quite similar to GT3 models in terms of aerodynamics. In other words, GT4 models are more similar to regular road-going cars, while both GT3 and GTC models have usually been extensively modified. In the end, let's take a look at some highlight footage of GT racing. If you want to learn more about racing techniques, let us know in the comments section. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.